All right, we're live on StreamYard. And we're live on YouTube. Yes, okay. Welcome to Rick's Life as I See It. Hope everybody's doing okay. It's good to see you all. Well, I said see you all. I'm hoping somebody will show up, but it takes a couple of minutes, you know. Plus, I was looking at my, I don't study my analytics. Is that what they call them? Of these YouTube channels? Because I said I'm not in it to become a big superstar. But I did notice, though, I've lost, in the last 6 months, I've lost 5 subscribers. So there we go. It could people who don't listen anymore, or, you know, like me, there's a lot I used to subscribe to, I don't anymore because, I don't watch them. And when they show up in my feed, I just bypass them. So I thought, why keep doing that? So I don't know if it was right or wrong, but that's what I do. And I wouldn't be surprised other people do that too. If you haven't, I mean, if you haven't joined in one of my shows in, 7 or 8 months or a year, if you del- you know, delete me, what's called it, I don't have a problem with it. So, hey, Chris from the 740's in. Gun Hobo 62's here. He's lurking in the background like he always does, which I don't mind. So anyway, New York Outcast, you finished your dinner?
Still working on it, but I'm
What are you
close.
having tonight?
Grilled burgers.
Oh, that sounds good. That's what I was planning on having.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the lettuce, tomato, all that stuff, the works,
Yeah.
and a salad.
Oh, that's good. I had salad 2 or 3 times in the last few days. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna do some burgers after the show. I was toying with doing them before, but it's one of those things. I wasn't sure if I would be done by the time the show starts. That's why I normally eat afterwards. You know, Uh, so I'll throw a couple of burgers on the grill. It won't take long. You know, so
Yeah, my cook was running late today.
ah,
I put the order in on time, but how things go.
yes, I do. I do. Yes, I know how that goes. Yeah. So anyway, I said I'm still waiting for a few people to show up in the chat here. Right now, there's 2 people, and that's it. But then again, it's summertime. We're in the summer. I don't know about where everybody else is, but I mean it's been up in the mid 90s. Heat index over 104, humidity up there at the same time. It is really unbearable when you step outside. I don't mind the heat, but it's the humidity that gets me. You know, so it's even the old truck is having trouble. You know, being as hot as it is for the AC to keep up with it outside. You know, so there you go. But the AC in the house here. Oh man, this new system. Oh, it's beautiful in here. It is absolutely beautiful. You know, it's thoroughly enjoying it. I'm quite surprised. I mean, I don't know. They're saying, we're getting the advisory, and the electric company is saying, asking people to cut back on their usage. Now, why in the hell would you cut back on your AC in a goddamn middle of a heat wave? You know what I'm saying? It never makes sense to me. Why would I want to? I'm paying to have my AC running. And why should I cut it off you know, to help out the power company. Well, the power company get off their ass and produce more electricity, is what I say. You know? Or am I looking at it wrong?
Yeah, I think I get your point. You would think, it's you bought it to use for those times,
Yeah.
So yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
I
So
mean,
I
why do I want
don't.
to sit here and sweat for?
Yeah. 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 I don't know. Maybe they got to invest some of that money they steal from us or extort from us to, upgrade the system or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure.
It's been, it's been
I
hot.
love to know where all the money goes. Same with insurance companies. Don't get me started on them. It's all the same. Everybody pisses and moaning what to do with all the money during the good times. When it wasn't that hot in the summertime and the ACs weren't running that much. What did you do with all the money you saved by not producing all that electricity? What happened to them years? Where's that money? Yeah, you know. So, hey,
Yeah.
Jacob,
Yeah.
good to see you. It's like I remember I think I've told you guys this before when I was living up in Rhode Island, there on Musquamacket Beach. You go down the main drag there where they only open from Memorial Day to Labor Day, then they shut down. But during that short, was it 3 months or 90 days, whatever it is, they make a fortune. They're running almost 24/7, you know. Then at the end of the summer, they go, oh man, it's such a bad year. Or the following year, they jack their prices up. Well, what? You just made a goddamn fortune. You take you take 7 months off of the year, you know, and you're pissing and moaning. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. So anyway, that's my rant for now. Yeah. Oh, anyway, real quick, for anybody in the chat, uh, everybody knows who my panelist is, but I'll introduce him anyway because he's a rock star. We got New York Outcast. How you doing?
Doing all right. I don't know about the rock star thing, but thanks. Doing
Yeah,
all right. Thanks for joining us, folks. Yeah, it's hot here in New York too. It's been up there, as Rick was stating earlier, something like 104, 109 on the index deal. Feels like or whatever. Real sticky and muggy. I'm sure a lot of the people are experiencing some of that now.
oh yeah,
From the
it's
news. Yeah, it's been a tough one. Just try and drink more water, uh, and take breaks. Usually, I don't take a lot of breaks, but or
yeah,
a
but
lunch period. But
the best
uh,
thing though is to stay hydrated.
yeah. But been taking extra breaks lately. So
Yeah.
especially working outside in the sun. So
Oh, I can understand. Stay hydrated. Take your breaks in the shade. And when I say stay hydrated, I don't mean knocking back beers. That doesn't do it. That makes it actually
no,
worse.
no. But when
Yeah.
you're dehydrated, it takes less to tip you over a little bit. So. Just a little fun fact. So at
Yeah.
least that's the way it seems to work with me. Had a couple drinks last night, and the next thing you know, my head was starting to spin. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I
yeah,
remember those
I was
days.
kind of shocked. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I did some research. I mean, for the guys who I wasn't here last week because I had a family gathering thing. And as I said in my little thing, I told them I can't come to everyone, so I said I'll make them when I can. I figured that was the best way around it. Anyway, I done some research. I looked it up to to go to Hawaii, to fly away, and say, I mean, if you're going to Hawaii, you got to go for a minimum of 2 weeks. You know, so
Woo.
fly to what?
I said, woo, 2 weeks, huh?
Yeah, well, you got to. I mean, for the amount of money it's costing you.
Yeah, yeah, but it's, I mean, whatever. It's
But
your
anyway,
trip.
where I was going with this is
Uh,
to fly out there, economy, not first class, economy. To fly out there and have a regular sort of not even like a 3-star hotel is just over $4,000. That's not counting your spending money and food. That's just flight and hotel, and it doesn't count a car unless you're going to use it, Uber. I don't know if they have that out in Hawaii or not, but so you got to count that, and you got to add another $2,000 or $3,000 on for that. You know, so you're looking at, I reckon, get it all in. You're looking at minimum of $6,000, I would say. You know, so I say that it's a place I would like to go, but it ain't gonna happen in my lifetime, I'm afraid. And I don't want to hear, well, start saving now and you'll be able to go this time next year. I have never, ever been able to save for a solid year in my whole 68 years, so I ain't goddamn starting now. So that's the end of that one. Then I checked on Australia. Now, if you're going to fly that far, you got to go for a minimum of 2 weeks. Personally, you should go longer. It's hell, the country's enormous. But 2 weeks to Australia, same thing, flying economy. And just for hotel and the flight, not counting cars, food, or any of that other stuff, it's at least $6,000. You know, then so I figured you're going to need anywhere from $9,000 to $10,000 to do a trip to Australia. Unless somebody's done it and done it for a hell of a lot cheaper. And I'm not talking about 40 years ago when it was a lot cheaper and shit to live. But I reckon that's all. That's scratched off my list too. Unless some rich person, wishes to pay for it for me, then I'll go. I mean, I think that's the only way I'm going to get there. Hey,
start
jobs on
start a GoFundMe.
what?
Start one of those GoFundMe program things.
No,
Why not, man?
because that's I'm not. It's I don't know because it's a vacation. It's not doing anything important.
Yeah, but people throw those types of things up for everything nowadays.
Yeah, but it's not.
You want your breasts done, you throw a GoFundMe up. Promise a picture when it's done. If you want whatever, I don't know. I see stories all the time about the craziest stuff. I mean, people are giving away money to murderers now, so yeah. There's probably a lot of people that can sympathize on your Hawaii trip and throw in a few bucks. I'm not telling people to or whatever, whatever, but
Yeah,
there's people out there that do that. So we
yeah, I
never
would
know,
imagine
man.
there is, but to me, it just doesn't feel right. You
Yeah.
know, you know. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, if you guys remember, I did a small one to come to do that big move out here. You know, you. I mean, people donated enough to cover the gas. To come out here. Was very nice of the people who did it. But I still feel bad doing that. but the people gave, generously of what they weren't forced into doing it. So,
Yeah. Well, this is kind of the same thing. I mean, I'm just throwing an idea out there. You never know. Squib himself might throw in 5K for you. I don't know. You never know. But I'm just saying, it's yeah, who knows? Like I said, a lot of people do. I see them for a lot of dumb stuff. If you're being honest and not doing some, saving a baby, dying of cancer, and all this like baloney shit that people try to pull, uh, yeah, I'm sure, if you're honest about it, some people wouldn't mind.
yeah, yeah, you know. The guy stuff says, I'm thinking of starting a GoFundMe to raise money to pay for Gary's next wedding and divorce.
That would probably work too.
Yeah, yeah. So, I don't know. It's just not something that I would, it's not something that I would like to, I don't know, just don't feel right to do that. It's like, starting a GoFundMe to buy a new gun. It's, just wrong. So that's the way I feel about it anyway. So, what was I going to mention? It's I'll be honest with you, I haven't done any shooting this week so far because it's been way too hot. I mean, it's, as I said, the heat doesn't bother me so much, but it's the humidity. Oh my god, you know, it's and it's like you walk. I mean, like walking to the mailbox and back. You know, you're actually soaking wet. Because it's so goddamn humid out there. It's ugh. So, but it's better than walking through 2 foot of snow. You're right. The gun snob said if Squib hadn't abandoned us, he would call me an e-beggar and keep me in check on this.
Hey man, I'm just throwing ideas out for him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I shake my head at like 99% of these damn give me money schemes personally. It seems, they're even on a smaller list. You can find them on like Craigslist and all types of stuff. Yeah. And everybody's got a goddamn sob story. And I really just don't believe the majority of them. I really don't. Even if I wanted to believe you, how could I vet it or verify in some cases? So I don't know. Yeah. Plus, I'm not the type to just give out money anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm more likely to go buy you food or something or whatever than just hand you money. But, if I was rich, I would come over and fly you to Hawaii and, I'd video the whole thing, get you, all types of, in bad positions, taking videos and stuff. It'd be great, but, maybe, get the Hawaiians after you for some reason or another. Rick's Survival Island or something. We'd get something going, but unfortunately, I can't do that.
No. I know you. I know you would if you could. But anyway, but I thought because we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, so I thought I'll just mention how much it cost.
Yeah. No, I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you, I don't think 6K is unreasonable for you to come up with, but you already seem dead set against saving and,
Oh yeah.
haven't done it. I'm not going to start now. I don't know. So, I can't motivate you, show you where the water is, but I can't make you drink it, so I won't push you that way, but I think it is, reasonable. Maybe it takes you longer because on a fixed income, it's not easy to squirrel money away. Plus, shit happens in life. So, but it's achievable for you. It really is. It's bad that you don't think so, but it is achievable.
Okay, but listen to me. When my monthly check is deposited, I have $100 taken out every month and put into a saving account every month. Been doing it for years, right? I can guarantee you before the next payday comes, I've transferred it back out of there into my regular checking account because I needed it for something. You know, and I'm not living above my means.
Well,
I don't think I am. You know.
I mean, you've managed to buy that firearm sitting behind you.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know. I suppose if I really wanted
If
it, I
you
could.
really want to, see, that's the thing about a lot of people these days, friends, whatever, acquainted people
Yeah,
getting together. If you really wanted to, you'd find a damn way. But, it's the same thing with the rallies. If you really wanted to, you could make it. But, work or whatever, or this or that. So, that's on you in a sense. So, I mean, but if you're admitting that that's good. That's all that really matters is, you know yourself and you're not lying to yourself.
yeah. Oh, Rick can take. Is that Rob's Air Force Two or something like that? Force Two to Hawaii. It's a clapped out Cessna with duct tape holding the wing on, but it's a plane.
Yeah, but she runs. She runs.
Yeah, I mean you're right. I mean, but but even though when it came to that firearm, I planned to do it over 4 months. I think I cheated myself and done it in 3. You know, where was that third month? I paid a little bit more towards it to get everything done, where I could have it. You know, and problem is, you think where I'm going is I overspend, so then I'm struggling for the next couple of months trying to catch up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Yeah. If you put too much one way, you got to make up for it another way. And,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
that's a delay in payments and you're taking money from next time to cover stuff from this time, which puts you behind the next time. So I totally get it. It's like
well,
payday loans. It's
yeah,
something, yeah,
yeah.
just a bad deal. Yeah.
But
That
I
you
am,
don't have to pay interest on top of it, but
yeah.
yeah.
But I'm glad though that I do cover the essentials every month without fail. The rent, the electric, keep a roof over my head, basically. Keep the
Yeah, well, honestly,
keep the
I
truck
personally
running.
think that's the most important. You got to have your basics. You got to have a place to bitch and moan and try to push further from. So,
Yeah, yeah. You know. So, in that sense, you know, as I've always said before, there's always some people off worse than I am.
yep. Hey, did you see my cover show for you last week by any chance?
I didn't. I saw that you did one,
Ah,
but I didn't. I didn't listen to it, to be honest with you.
would it hurt your
No,
ears?
I was going to. I was going to listen to it in the car when I was driving to and from
Uh-huh.
places, but a couple of days went by. It went off my screen, and I didn't even think about it after that.
All
You know,
right.
so
I'm just
was
curious.
it good? Good. Did you have a good turnout?
I didn't. I don't know. Some people showed up, so
Okay.
nobody showed up on the panel. But some people showed up, so
Yeah.
I you know, went on for about an hour. I tried to do my good impersonation of you, so not really impersonate, but pretty much stuck with your format for it. So
Oh, okay. All right.
told people to check you out. So sucks you lost subs. Maybe
Yeah, I lost subs when they checked me out. So.
looks like some of your friends realized I was black. Sorry, man. Oh shit.
Yeah. Okay. Quite. I got to bring it up. I got to bring. You and me. I'm trying to stay off of the politics too much, right? But I got a question. If the United States hadn't stopped Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, who would have? That's all I want to know. Everybody said it's a bad idea, but what? There's nobody else that has what we have to be able to do it. That's my thinking of it. You know, oh, let everybody else take care of it. It's not our problem. Next thing you know, they've got one and they're using it. They're crazy enough to use it. So I think it was a good idea. I'm gonna say lose more people now because I said that. You know, because it's a hot topic still, even though it's done. You know, so I thought. I mean, personally, myself, I thought it. I thought. I mean, even if you disagree with the actual way it was done, and the position it was done at, and everything else, I thought was pretty cool. Really, you know, flying for 36 hours, dropping them right on the needle, and flying home. I thought that was pretty cool. So, but then again, I guess
I mean, what we can do is definitely cool. I mean, from what I
that's what I
hear,
was trying to say there.
yeah, from what I hear, it went down pretty smooth. So I don't know. Yeah, you like you said, it is a touchy thing. I mean, I personally kind of think we should just stay out of shit, but in this case, we're talking about Trump here, and Iran. I really don't have any love for Iran, so you know, I don't have anything against their good people. Like a lot of places, people don't necessarily match what the government is doing, but uh, the government hasn't been, doing us favors, especially over the whole, GWAT era and whatnot. So
Yeah,
I don't, if I don't know, I couldn't answer your question. Who else could do it? I don't know. I think there's probably other nations that could have worked something out. Would it have been as smooth? I have no idea. Should we have? Yeah, well, that's a matter of opinion, I guess. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
I would say, tell them not to do it. If they did it, then we turn them into glass or whatever it's got to be. But
yeah,
but there's no bullshit with that. It's just 100%. You're not talking or negotiating about shit later. You're just, it's like somebody touching you. You touch my kid, you're done. You know what I mean? There is no negotiating or talking about it. Yeah, it's like,
exactly.
there's nothing really to say. So I don't know. But if people aren't going to respect the lines we draw, so you got all that diplomacy shit, and it's not really my area. So I don't know. I'm not mad at Trump for doing it. I can tell you that. But at the
I'm not
same
either.
time, was it the best move? I don't really know. Myself, it seems kind of disrespectful that he puts the word out, nobody do nothing, ceasefire type deal. We stepped in, took care of it. And then the people we're supposedly defending just start launching their shit off. And, like, seems kind of petty and a little I don't know, two-faced, I guess. Like, so
Yeah,
maybe
but he
we
also,
shouldn't.
but he's
Yeah, maybe we really shouldn't be helping these people. I know there's a lot of biblical stuff with this and stuff, but
yeah. I
I
mean,
really don't care if it's the Bible telling me or my mom says somebody's an asshole, they're an asshole. And from my information, shit's been going on, both sides all the time. There's reporters
oh
getting
yeah,
shot
it's been
on the
going on.
line, taking video. Yeah, there's been shit going on forever.
They've
Like,
been killing each other since time began.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to pick, okay, well, who crossed the line and where or what, and I'm not really a historian, so I don't know, but like I said, we might get shit for it, but I'm not mad. If they want to keep pushing shit, then they'll find out. I just hope we deal with it significantly and just get it done, and it don't turn out to be some drawn out campaign war thing or something. Just,
Yeah, I
just
don't think it will. I mean, right
I don't
now
know.
the ceasefire's holding, isn't it? Last I looked. So
I believe, I don't know. I keep hearing different things, or it didn't for a while. Now it is temporarily. So I'm not.
yeah, but
By the time we say something, it'll probably change. So
oh
who
yeah,
knows? But
but but could anybody else pulled it off?
as smooth as us,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
That's pretty doubtful, probably,
yeah.
because from what I hear, there was a lot of moving pieces of this. So,
Yeah. Another thing
but
that
no,
a slight angle to this, because is everybody, mainly the other side, the Democrats, you know, no, the rest of the world hates Trump. Well, the European nations and NATO don't. They love him, you know. But the Democrats and the New York Times and CNN are telling you Trump is the most hated man in NATO. They're actually loving him. So
shit. I personally don't care if you love or hate them. As far as another nation, oh well. I mean, this is our house, not your house.
yeah, oh I know, but I'm just saying.
Whether
I've
they
been reading some stuff on it,
respect
and
us or not is the issue. So
yeah,
yeah, you can dislike all you want. It's just, but we gonna be able to work, you know, peacefully together? I guess you could say. I don't know. Is there a line of respect? So because I can respect somebody I don't like. You know what I mean? It's maybe on a certain angle or issue, but um, shit, I've worked for people in the past that people would call me crazy, but shit, they didn't give me any shit and they paid on time. So what do
yeah,
I don't care about their personal, but you know what I mean? So I don't I, our deal was good.
yeah, yeah. I see where you're coming from on that. But
And I've got lines with things like that. Don't get me wrong, but in some cases it doesn't. You don't have to like somebody to work with somebody. You know what I mean? And that's one I'll stand on. There's probably most people with a job don't like half the people they work with, but they can still go to work and do their job. Same thing in the military. Like in some cases, you might hate the son of a bitch, but when you're on the job for state, you do what you gotta do. And they'll do the same. Supposed to.
yeah, supposed to. But I agree with you. I mean, there was many a time I worked with people I couldn't stand. You know, I didn't get on with them, but you have to be able to work, get the job done. As I used to tell people, I'm not here to win a popularity contest. I'm here to do a job. But I don't try to be an asshole about it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm
But
just,
you're not
I'm
there for
not
the
gonna,
social experiment. Yeah.
I'm not gonna hang out with you and go out for beer after work type thing. You know, so. Oh yeah, I mean, I understand that totally. And I've worked for people that I don't like either. People higher up the ladder than me. I'm thinking,
Uh,
goddamn asshole. But I'm there to do a job. So
yeah. Now, in some cases, that can bite you in the ass when we're talking about work. 'Cause I
Yeah.
can think of several examples where if you don't go hang out with the crew, they come up with a reason to try to get rid of you. I don't know what the deal is, but there's always that in club. Yeah, my friend basically went through it at a dealership because he didn't want to go bowling and drink every night. But he's got two kids at home, or two younger kids, plus had a brand new kid, newborn. So
Yeah.
how's he going to explain to his wife he's spending his money and time getting drunk at the bowling alley? You know what I mean? Like that just don't work. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like that's not how things go. So it didn't work out well for him at the dealership. That's just one example because of that. Things like that, which I really don't like, and never really worked out well places like that. So I think like a lot of things, you should get judged on your performance, not how well you kiss ass.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I used to when I got to work. I mean, working. It's. See, you work for yourself, so you don't have to go through all this shit. You know, there's you know, you're there, you're doing your job. Somebody else is, there at the same time as you, meant to be doing their job, but they're most of the time they're looking at their phone and texting people instead of doing the goddamn job they're meant to be doing. You know, and you think, and something, then if something is not right, the boss comes down on you, and you're the one doing all the goddamn work. That used to piss me off big time.
Yeah, I've seen it. Or the
Yeah.
other person's in the in crowd, so they get to
Yeah.
show up late or leave early or take a day off every other
Oh yeah.
Friday
Yeah. And the
or
boss
shit
thinks
like
they
that.
love
Yeah. But your wife's in the hospital and they're threatening your job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah, there's a lot of that two-sided bullshit all the way down, to us little guys at the job in a sense. So yeah, it's a bunch of crap. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people have lost job opportunities just due to that not fitting into the social structure at some places. So,
Yeah.
or you leave a job because of the people, not the job. You're going to get yourself in trouble or whatever. So you just say to hell with it.
Yeah. But I said you work for yourself, so you're very lucky.
Yeah, but I've been there before, and technically I work for every customer too, so I can turn a customer down, tell them to pound sand or whatever. But at the same time, I always try to avoid something like that. But I still kind of deal with it on a micro scale a little bit, but not as if a standard employee, but I have been a standard employee in the past. So I've seen all that all the way from the top. I've suffered from it, all types of stuff. I've been advised not to even bother driving across the country for certain jobs because it's all about whether they like you. They don't care how well you can do the job. It's whether you fit in or you don't. So I thank that lady because, would have sucked to drive across the country for work to find out you got to be an ass kisser to go anywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But then again, sometimes like yourself, working for yourself is harder than being an employee. Because you can't you can't call in sick.
Right.
You know what
You
I'm saying?
can, but it's not good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
work.
that's what I'm saying. Because you got to be able to get a certain job done by a certain time. You know, and if you keep calling out, going home early and shit, you're not
Yep.
going to get many good referrals. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, or if you irritate a customer somehow or way
Yeah.
delayed, payment can turn out to be a struggle and potentially a court issue. And it's just, you know, as an employee, you usually don't have to worry about, is this going to go smooth to get my paycheck? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So where
Yeah.
every customer, the majority, thankfully have had mainly good experiences. Only had a couple bad things come up, and you know I ended up going to court, and I won both times, and was actually awarded more money by the judge for having to deal with the bullshit, I guess, because it was absolutely ridiculous. And even then, well, I don't want to go on and ramble on, but with one of them, even them themselves said I did an amazing job. They just didn't want to pay me. So, like that's not how it works. So, people are weird, man.
Oh yeah, they are. They, you know, I always say me being an employee, I said you can mess around with me, but just don't mess with my money. You know, I,
Yep.
so Patriot in the Dark says I quit once, but I was because I was tired of them telling me that I had to wear pants. Oh, there.
You had to wear what?
Pants.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
that's a deal breaker. When you
yeah.
start off like him being an underwear model, it's hard to make changes.
Oh yeah. You know. Yeah, but I've done what you did too. I had my own business for a while. You know, but I realized that I had a lazy employee and an asshole for a boss.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, you
I
can.
heard somebody else say that once, and it's just stuck with me.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's good. I mean, it's true. You kind of get in what you or get out of it what you put into it in a sense. But
Exactly. That's what I was trying
even
to say.
that's not 100% guaranteed, though. And I will
No.
state, there's a whole nother stress level. Like, something gets screwed up in most people's job, it's the supervisor, it's the boss, you got to deal with it or whatever. But when it's your name, your job, you know, that's not good. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't turn off at 5 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're stuck with it. You got to solve a problem. Try to avoid a problem because this is the trick. Even if you have a problem and correct it, there was still a problem. So people are talking to their friends and family, and it comes up, and people only tend to remember bad shit. So you don't want any problems at all. And
Yeah.
then you
Yeah.
might get lucky and get some referrals, but one
Yeah.
bad
I
thing,
agree with you. I mean,
you're screwed.
yeah, there was a
Like,
problem, but you fixed the problem. You know, in a timely manner that it really didn't
yep,
do anything.
uh,
But all they remember is that you messed up.
yeah, yeah. Did
They
you
don't
happen
tell
to
him,
catch?
oh, but he fixed it, and he fixed it,
Yep,
the same afternoon.
exactly. Did you happen to catch Travis P. Levin's video last week that he put up about some posts in his yard he used for fencing?
No.
Okay. Well, this is a good example, like, where it would screw a contractor. He's dealing with it himself, but they decide to put some fencing up, just a quick fence. It's like cinder blocks with 4x4 posts running horizontally into the cinder blocks that connect them all.
Yeah.
Just something small for his dogs or whatnot, according to the video. Well, it's been a year. All those posts have warped and they're twisted, and they look like crap. He went out of his way talking with the people at the lumber store, trying to get the best that he could get, pressure treated and whatnot. And a year later, that's what he ended up with. Now, a customer would have called me saying, I got him shitty wood or something like that. You know what I mean? It's all coming apart. And they would expect me to take that out of my pocket to correct it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Where him, and I have a couple choices there. I could tell him, kick rocks and lose a customer plus everybody they ever speak to. I could eat the cost, fix it myself by replacing them with other boards. I could, or I could take them, try to exchange them, see if the company will do something for me. Still eat the cost to keep the customer happy and hope I get reimbursed in the long run. Technically, I could probably put it in on my insurance, but that would screw me later too. So I won't even get into that part of it. So I mean, there's a lot of different options there, but I'd have to pick one and be hopping to it. No matter what I did, the customer would still say that there was an issue. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the problem with that. So where a contractor could get screwed. Now, if you were smart like me and seeing what they were doing, not saying like me, I'm just quarterbacking this here, but with some jobs, when people ask me to do certain things and I have experience in this, I could say, okay, but I can't warranty that it's going to hold up with no supports or whatever, especially pressure treated lumber, because I myself have, seen pressure treated lumber look like spaghetti 2 days later. You pick it up, drop it off to the job, show back up to do the work, and you're like, what the hell is that? Because it starts drying out in the sun, twist. But anyway, I know I'm going on and on, but it's just an example like that can really just screw somebody, where the guy that just shows up for the contractor to put that fence in, he ain't got to worry about that. So it's a whole nother ball game, in a sense. So a lot more stress.
Yes.
And a lot more ways you can get burned, I guess, even when it's not even your fault. Like, technically, they picked the lumber. I put it in. The lumber goes to shit. It turns out to be my fault. You know what I mean?
So what I want to know is, without me watching it, what happened to Travis P? I mean, did he get it resolved?
Yes, he was dealing with Menards, and I'll say that they exchanged all the boards for him. They came and picked them up, and I'm not sure if they gave him full reimbursement or for something else. I don't remember,
Yeah.
but I believe he got compensation back from him.
Well,
So
that was good of him to do that.
yeah, that I said the same thing, because it's not always a guarantee some places. So
Yeah. So, but he made a video of look what they did.
basically, the lumber quality. He's saying be careful with the lumber. He wasn't like pointing fingers at anybody. I believe him and his wife or girlfriend or whatever installed this fencing themselves. Yeah, I think they installed it themselves, so there wasn't a contractor involved, but he's still dealing with the problem. So I just use that as an example. Throw a contractor into that, and now the contractor's a bad guy, even though the lumber was the failure part, not the contractor. But the contractor will be the one answering for it.
Well, you should have known better to buy that lumber. You should have bought
Probably
some decent stuff.
I would have talked them towards maybe cedar, redwood. But at the same time, they're more money, maybe even consider chain link. But he's considering other options now or whatever. But if you were to believe what the ad said, the lumber should have worked though, so it should have been fine.
The way they push that treated lumber, like it's it's the God's gift to building stuff.
But lumber quality is difficult.
I noticed. I was watching somebody, one of my YouTubes. He was having a new pole barn put up, made with lumber. Right? He got treated. What are they, 6x4s or whatever the posts are made out of? The square posts.
Okay. Yeah, right? It could be 4x4, 6x6, 4x6. They make them.
I think they were 4x6 treated lumber. But what he did was he put like a sleeve on the bottom of it, the part that goes into the ground, to keep the moisture away from the wood. It's pretty sad when you buy treated lumber that you've still got to put the extra barrier on there.
Yeah. Well, it's smart because there's treated lumber, and then there's ground contact treated lumber. It doesn't matter, it does matter, especially for code purposes. But
as he said, these posts are holding up my barn, and that rots out, I'm screwed.
Yeah. Well, he's smart because you do any extra you can. Some people burn the logs at the bottom. Some people apply like a tar mixture to them. I've seen all types of things done. They all probably add some life because I'm
Chinese, sure. No, it's the Japanese. How come the Japanese get the credit for burning your logs?
I don't know. They're probably really good at making videos, so maybe they got videos out first.
Because burning logs, it's called Japanese something or another. The technique, it's got a Japanese name. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head right now. But
I'm not sure of what the name is either.
yeah. But there you go. Saying everybody, you're right. They must have played good videos to get the credit for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been around for a long time. I mean, maybe initially it came there. I don't know where it came from initially, but a lot of the old techniques still work these days.
Oh yeah.
That's how it is, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah.
anything extra you can do, I mean, you might as well when it comes to something like that, putting a post in the ground. Because unfortunately, if you don't take any care, there's been times where post has been set and 6-7 years later it's basically rotted at the bottom, even though it's pressure treated, which is it's not supposed to happen like that, but it does.
Yeah. But then, how come? I guess it may be the wood they're using, but like around here, there's some of these farmers that got barns that are over 100 years old, made out of lumber, and they're still standing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on the structure, what they use. I mean, a lot of the barns I've seen are usually stacked on, field stone type foundations. So if they're not on the ground, that's going to make a huge difference,
Yeah.
obviously. So just due to, think of every morning condensation, dew, all that type of stuff. The ground's pretty much gets wet every day in some sense. So the drier you can keep it, the better. So I don't know. I know, some of the old construction, I think was just done overkill to the point where they still stand crooked today, and modern homes have come and gone since then.
Yeah. 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 You're right. So, damn, you seen the time? This hour's going by fast.
Mm.
You know, it's like anything when you're talking about something you enjoy. It's like if you had that. They say if you do a job that you love, you don't work a day in your life. You
Yep.
know, so when you're talking about stuff you know something about, time just flies by.
Oh yeah, I can.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm getting hungry. I'm going to go throw my burgers on the grill. You know, I just hope I know my gas bottle's getting low. My propane. I
Yeah.
just nothing's worse than having it run out halfway through.
Yeah, that just happened to me like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
And
why I
I've got
like it.
2 more bottles sitting there, but they're both empty.
Yeah, I mean I got to get. I mean because I got to get a spare tank. I don't have a spare tank at the moment. You know,
Okay, yeah.
that's why I like a spare one. You can just flip it over and keep on cooking.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And then in your off time, you can pick it up when in your convenience or whatever. That's what I usually do. So I've acquired mine from clean out jobs or whatever. So
Yeah, yeah. I need to find somebody who's got a spare one knocking around. I don't know where they can get. Actually, I might talk to the trash man that comes around every week. He's a pretty friendly guy. Talks to me every week. Even actually, we're meant to. I'm meant to drop my trash can down at the bottom of the end of the drive,
mhm.
but a lot of times I forget he's coming, and he'll walk up my driveway and get it for me.
Yeah, that's
You know,
cool.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I might ask him, has he ever come? If he ever comes across one, think of me. You know.
yeah, because it don't have to be a great one or anything.
No, it
Because
doesn't. As long as
obviously
it
you
can
can
hold
just
gas.
take it in
You know.
and exchange it. You don't even
Yeah.
really don't even need the whole gas. It's just got to be able to get exchanged over.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
could be 30 years old or something, but
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I
yeah,
think that's what I'm gonna
that,
do.
yeah, I mean, you can buy them. I think they're what, 30-40 bucks or something like that. But obviously, if you can acquire one, it's
Yeah.
more
Now,
financially,
if you
you
go
know,
to one of
better.
those, like the gas station or convenience store where you can, swap them over, right?
I Yep,
It's about
yep,
$25, I think, to do it around there, give or
yep,
take a
yeah.
couple of dollars. You know,
Yep,
but
yeah. And the
but
best deal I found around here was was Family Dollar, believe it or not. So,
How much?
or Dollar General, one of those. So the
Okay.
best price I found around here was Family Dollar or Dollar General. I can't remember what it was, but
Yeah.
it was like
But
23 bucks.
but if you don't have one to exchange, like you want to start off, right?
Hmm.
It's around $60 because you got to put
Yep.
down like a $30, $35 deposit on that tank. Then the next time you go to trade it in, it's only about 20, 25 bucks.
Yeah,
You
to
know?
get it filled. Yeah.
Yeah. But you can, Rural King that we have here, you know, it's our version of Tractor Supply. You know, they do where you can take your tank there and they'll fill it up for you for $14.
Wow.
You know, so
Shit, I'd be hitting that up, man.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm
That,
saying. That's why if I do get a spare tank, if
yeah,
I can get
yeah.
one that's half-ass decent that I could use to fill up, but you said it might be worth just trading it in one time, then go once like go to Dollar General or whatever, get one for 25 bucks, right? Because you're trading one in, and
Yeah.
then go down to Rural King with that to keep filling it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm going to ask the trash man if he ever comes across any, you know, because yeah, people throw out all kinds of shit, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
don't
it's
think
over.
you're supposed to throw those in the normal trash, but it doesn't mean people don't or haven't tried. So,
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, you meant to turn them in. That's like you're not meant to. Yeah, you're meant to take oil to a certain place to get done and all that kind of shit.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I was actually talking about that, talking to a friend of mine, and I said we're talking about oil, and he burns it in his wood stove now. He took an actual propane tank, turned it upside down, put a valve on it, and it drips all his old motor oil in, inside his wood stove when it's burning. He's got wood and shit in there, but he's got the oil dripping all the time, and it burns it off. I don't know whether that's EPA friendly or not, but he said
Yeah,
that's how I get rid of my oil nowadays. He goes,
hmm,
he said, but he said I haven't done it in years, but he says out the back there on the side of the shed in the woods, he said the ground is actually saturated. Or that's where he used to pour all his oil right on the ground. And in the old days, just like you're throwing out a
yeah,
bucket of water,
yeah.
you just throw out your oil out in the woods. by the. He said the ground. He said I've poured so much oil out there. He said the ground's still wet even after all these years. And they wonder why. They wonder why the rivers are polluted. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about this other day. When I was a kid growing up around here, you could drink out of the streams and shit, you know. But with farmers using insecticides and different kind of fertilizers and shit, it poisoned the water, you know.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was good.
agriculture runoff does some crazy stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, real quick, I want to do the my quiz question, and it's a real easy one, guys. And the drawing is next Wednesday, the 2nd of July. Damn, July's almost here. Jesus Christ. You know? Anyway, the question is what I want to know, real simple, is what is a punt gun? Punt. I want to know what it is. That's all. And just, for a little info here, it's still legal to own one, but you can't use it for what it was designed for. That's the only clue I'm getting. I got it off of Google, so that's the answer I'm using. So email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Get it into me by next Wednesday, and you're being for the swag pack drawing. There you go. All right. So 8 o'clock already. So you got any things you want to say there? Close out New York Outcast.
Not much. Thanks for joining us. If you're still out there in the crowd, you deserve a cookie and a salad, and stay out of trouble. We'll catch you next time.
All right, appreciate it. Yes, anybody out there in the chat, if you're still here listening to us going on about life and work and everything else, I appreciate you hanging in there. But I've always said, if you've got something you want to talk about, just email me and we'll throw it in as a topic. So with that, I want to say good night to everybody. Thanks for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you all next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. So good night, everybody. Good night, Sabrina.